Sound check! Let's film a video. I'd like to talk to you about AIDS today. AIDS today. AIDS today. I'd like to talk to you about AIDS today. Please don't die. What do you call a gay man in a wheelchair? Drum roll, please. Anybody? Roll AIDS. Ba-dum. Some of you laughed at that. Others didn't. Why did you laugh at that? Or maybe a better question, why didn't you laugh at that? I've got another one for you. My gay friend threw an 80s themed costume party. I went dressed up as AIDS. At the beginning, nobody knew what I was. But by the end, everybody got it. Got it? What are the birds and the bees? What does that mean? It's quite simple. The birds and the bees describe how two people love, but what if the bird is sick? What if the bee dies? What if love can kill? What if there is a devil inside? Everyone has opinions on a wide variety of topics and issues. However, problems become apparent, and these opinions are freely shared despite being formed from a severe lack of information or blatant ignorance. Something I've recently come to realize is society's tendency to take extremely harsh and prejudicial viewpoints toward world epidemics. One epidemic that especially falls victim to this is human immunodeficiency virus and acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, better known as HIV and AIDS. Referred to by some as the HIV, human immunodeficiency virus is a virus of the white blood cells known as CD4 cells in the human body. Commonly referred to as T cells, their purpose is to fight off infection, but HIV attacks and destroys them. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is the final stage of HIV virus which causes severe damage to the immune system. A person is identified as having AIDS when his or her CD4 cell count drops below 200, preventing the body from fighting off any type of infection. Currently, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that there are 35 million people living worldwide with HIV and AIDS. An estimated 39 million have died. 39 million dead children. Every one is a child to his or her parents. 35 million affected human beings. Despite what uneducated sources might lead you to believe, HIV is not specific toward gender or sexual preference. There is a stigmatization that it is, but that is simply society's way of rationalizing devastation by assigning blame. Because they are easy targets, society demonizes homosexuals and intravenous drug users as the carriers of the plague intended to eradicate unhealthy lifestyles. I've got multiple problems with that idea. I do not tolerate prejudice. I believe that we as human beings have a basic and inherent right to live life in a way that makes us happy. The meaning of life is finding your happiness. Happiness is not sacrificing your life for choosing to love who you love, despite society telling you it is not right or proper. Happiness is not being told, you have no future, because IV drug use is the only way you can handle survival. There are those that will tell you HIV is the wrath of God. But I choose to view God as being a concept of love and understanding. It is illogical to me that HIV is the punishment for living an unacceptable lifestyle because there is no valid model of an acceptable lifestyle. There is no how-to book for life. We are given the greatest gift and the most reprehensible curse. We live. I learned a lot about the AIDS epidemic when I started looking at it from an anthropological perspective. I recently finished reading the book Culture and AIDS by Douglas A. Feldman. The book explores how AIDS is viewed around the world via the perspective of men, women, heterosexual, homosexual, rich, poor, developed, developing, black, white, educated, and uneducated. The stigmatization surrounding this virus is unreal and sickening. Now, we've already discussed the theory that says HIV is the result of living a taboo lifestyle. Ever since I first heard about HIV, I have been aware of the stereotypes surrounding the virus. It is a gay disease, it is a black disease, and it came from Africa. I'm sure many of you have heard the phrase, once you go black, you never go back. Well, of course you can't. You have AIDS. Do you see how unfair the stereotype is? Is it a gay disease? No. Homosexuals are considered an at-risk population because of the susceptibility of transmission during intercourse. It is simply easier for a gay person to become infected. Is it a black disease? No, but because the virus has ravaged Africa, it has created the misconception that HIV targets black people. Did HIV originate in Africa? There is no proven scientific evidence to support that statement. There are countless stereotypes surrounding the HIV and AIDS epidemic, but not a single one of them is true. They were simply formed in prejudice and misunderstanding. Something most people don't think about when considering the AIDS epidemic is the effect that the stereotypes and stigmatization has on those who are infected. In most cases, these people depend on the generosity of others. That is how they survive. There is no cure for HIV or AIDS, but there are medications that slow the progression of the virus in the body. These medications are called antiretrovirals. Though their cost has reduced drastically in recent decades, they're still very expensive. Now, medical costs, compounded with costs of living, make survival for those infected extremely difficult, especially if they are left to solely manage their lives. So, what effect do these stereotypes have on those that are infected? They are destructive. If you take nothing else away from what I've spoken about today, please remember this. You have a job, a duty, a responsibility to approach HIV and AIDS with no prejudice. It is my sincerest hope that we may embrace the legacy of all those affected by HIV and AIDS. I'd like to leave you with two of my favorite quotes. Jared Leto, when accepting the 2014 Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Dallas Buyers Club, made this incredible statement. This is for the 36 million people who have lost the battle to AIDS, and to those of you who have ever felt injustice because of who you are or who you love, I stand here in front of the world, with you and for you. And the motto of my favorite charity, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, what we do together makes a difference. I started with the joke, therefore it is only appropriate that I end with one as well. Have you heard the joke about the baby with AIDS? It never gets old. What you just watched was my 2015 original oratory titled HIV and AIDS for my high school forensics team. On March 28, 2015, I was named the Virginia High School League Original Oratory 2A State Champion. While it's an incredible honor, I did not write my piece to receive the recognition of a state championship. I wanted to educate those around me on the background of the epidemic. I wanted to teach people of the effects the stereotypes and stigmatization have on those that are infected. I want people to be aware that AIDS is still a prevalent issue in our society. People need to know that we need better treatment options for those infected. We need to know that people are still dying from AIDS. We need to know that what we have done is not enough and we have more to do. They need advocates, and we can be those advocates. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more, click the thumbs up and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.